Maybe you haven't been diagnosed with it yet, but all of us are becoming affected by what's called text neck. Text, T-E-X-T, neck. And it's a syndrome that affects, obviously, our neck. So as you draw your neck forward, this used to be called crane neck. Um, I don't like that at all. Maybe you've heard of text neck. We're all looking at our phones and reaching our head forward. That is putting a lot of pressure on our back. Over time, it's going to create the dowager's hump. To avoid that, yoga has come up with solutions. Let's begin this practice by coming to a seated position with your fingers interlaced. You can sit however you wish. As you take your interlaced fingers behind your neck, just kind of lift your head up to give yourself a little bit of freedom. Draw your elbows in toward one another a little bit so that you can get this nice freedom here as you lift and get more elongation from the neck muscles. I was inspired to do this the other day because I found myself, when I was listening to someone, I found myself jutting my neck forward to as if I could hear so much better by by moving my head forward a little bit more. And so often we do that during the day, and probably you've seen a lot of people with postures where their head is way forward. So let's come to all fours position. And in all fours position, a lot of times in cat cow, what I see is people really whipping their neck, their head up quite a bit and down, and it's really not building that much strength in the neck muscles and shoulder muscles. So we're going to do what's called salamander version here. You know, salamanders is it's as if they have no neck. So, with your hands and knees position, have your head in what feels like a neutral position. Draw your feet over to the right side. So, keep your knees where they are. Just swing your feet off to the right side. Now, take your gaze off to the right side. So, move your eyes to the right. Now, move your head and try not to let it draw down. That's kind of a habit that we all have. As you look over toward the right side at your feet, try to dome the left side ribs nicely. Come back to the center position. Take your feet to the opposite side. Draw your head, draw your gaze to the left side first. Keep your head in this neutral position. Now start to move your head toward the left side and feel how the right side just expands nicely. Now that you've got the idea, let's do that again a little bit faster. So come back to the center, move your feet to the right, move your eyes to the right. Now move your head to the right, staying in that same plane. Just go very slowly so that you can expand again that middle trapezius area, quadratus lumborum, these side and lateral muscles. Come back to center. Move your feet to the left side. Move your eyes to the left. Move your head to the left. See about just moving your gaze a little bit deeper here. Come back to the center position and make your way up to standing, however that is for you, through downward facing dog or whatever way works. Come to standing, and you probably, we do these side stretches a lot by holding on to one wrist. We're going to make a little variation to that today. And as you take your hand up, rather than holding onto the wrist and going to the side, we'll have our hand turning up and take your opposite hand just to the baby finger side of that. So I'll walk you through it. As you come to a standing position to Tadasana with your feet parallel to each other, take your right hand up and hold on to the baby finger side of the hand. As you do, draw over to the side with the elbow bent. Now, see if you can kind of pull the ring finger and the baby finger toward the earth with the elbow bent as you just draw over so that you get lots more space there. So, in that salamander pose, we were just getting lengthen the side body to facilitate this pose even more. Come back to the center position. Now do the same thing. Take your hand up with your left hand. Just hold on to the baby finger side as if you're trying to pull it down toward the earth. And you draw over to the side. Once again, to get this nice length to the side body. And you have to be here for a little bit. See if you can take the top of the throat back and come back to center. The top of the throat back is like, imagine that you have this big smile just from the top of the throat that extends to your ears. And so you take that smile, you draw back into that smile. You're just really opening up. So rather than chin forward, the smile has you remember to take the top of the throat back. You want to keep that. One more thing, take your hands right in a stacked position. We'll do this on the floor as well, but just guiding you through standing makes a little bit more sense first. Take your stacked hands to your third eye. Now press your hands back as you draw your elbows slightly forward. Press your hands back to your forehead and resist with your head. So you build these neck muscles, and the neck muscles really help you create this rather than head forward, text neck look. You've got this nice strength and tone in the muscles of your neck. And that helps you prevent, and you can release out of the pose. You've probably seen people with what's called dowager's hump. You know, C7 right here at the base of the neck there. You kind of get a lot of flesh in that area, right? Your chin is coming forward, and you're getting like a hump there, that dowager's hump. So as you make the smile, draw the top of the throat back, you get this nice natural curve, and you should feel it by taking your index finger and your middle finger just to the bottom of the head there, that occipital ridge there, right there. There should be a nice soft spot there. If you're feeling like a bony, a hard area, you need to tighten the top of the throat back even more to get that softness. Let's come to our belly and do that same thing. On our belly, the stacked hands, so that we can now get a little bit more strength in the back of the neck now that we know the action. As you stack your hands, and I'm not going to press my head to the stacked hands because the sound will get really wonky, but you press your third eye right into the stacked hands and keep your hands where they are. Just lift your elbows up slightly. Now, in the next in breath, lift your head up and get this nice lifting quality as you strengthen your back muscles. And exhale, take your forehead down. Let's do that several more times here. As you lift your elbows with your hands down, as you draw your shoulder blades in, lift your head up. See if you can get up just a little bit higher. And exhale, come on down. Inhale, elbows lift. Head lifts with the help of the hands, almost like the hands are carrying the head. And release down. Elbows lift. Hands lift your head, rise up, exhale down. Two more. Elbows lift, head lifts, and down. And one more. Elbows lift, head lifts, and down. Make your way to all fours position. In all fours position, with your head in that neutral position, draw your heart down. So we're not doing cat-cow. We're just trying to move that area right between your shoulder blades. It's just softening down. And now press the floor away from you to lift that area up and down. You're trying to keep the mid-thoracic very neutral, your head neutral, as you just do these mini push-ups here, pushing into the mat and drawing your heart toward the mat. Arms stay straight or almost straight. You're just doing 3 more times here. It's as if the shoulder blades are trying to draw in toward each other and almost kiss one another. You just let the spine just draw really deep, like into the chest. One more time. Press into the mat to really lift yourself high, and now just soften right into that space. Now keep that area very neutral with your toes tucked under. See, and keep your head in a neutral position. Now see if you can do cat-cow without moving the shoulders and the neck. Just see if you can move that middle thoracic area. It's a little bit harder to maintain this movement just in that area, but it allows you to just get a little bit more awareness of the movement of the different parts of the spine. And it takes a while to figure this out, how you can keep one area stationary after years and years of doing cat and cow. And as you're ready, make your way to standing, either through downward facing dog or however it works best for you. Come to the front of the mat and stand in Tadasana. Just pause here for a moment. As you pause, externally rotate the upper arms so that you can get a nice openness of the chest. And as if you're drawing that smile from the top of the throat back, really get a nice alignment of the head and the neck. Inhale, reach your arms up and slightly back. Exhale, come down to your forward fold. With your hands right at your shin bones, inhale, get length and look forward. Exhale and soften. 2 more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale and soften. And 1 more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, soften to place your hands alongside your ankles and step to a plank position. In your plank position, lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Now, I always teach a baby cobra pose where the elbows are bent, but I see people whipping their chin away from the floor, like a really strong action of whipping their head back. So instead, look toward the floor so you get this nice length in the back of the neck. Lift the heads of the arm bones, so you're lifting the shoulders. Pull the hands in toward each other and inhale, rise up. See if you can rely on the strength of the back and exhale, soften. 2 more times. Inhale, lift yourself up and exhale, soften. 1 more. Inhale, lift up and exhale, soften. And just take your attention here to the monitor just for a second. So you probably have seen these people lift up in Cobra, like there's no neck space, right? It's kind of like this. Let me see if I can show you, kind of like this, right? And and so what we want to do in to just get our shoulders working better is, rather than our hands forward, take your fingers in toward each other. Fingers are facing in toward each other. So on your belly, with your fingers facing in toward each other, elbows right over the wrists. Draw your hands now away from each other and lift yourself up and exhale down. So this way you get a nice length to the side body. You're pressing your fingertips down, you're engaging your shoulders, and you're not doing it, even though it seems like the wrists would be not happy in this pose. It seems quite more accessible to you because of the positioning of the hands that allow the shoulders to just kind of ease up. So do that 3 more times. You just pulse up as you're drawing the hands away from each other. You rise up, you exhale, soften down. And it feels a little bit strange at first to place your hands in this way. But for those of us that really have some tight necks, or these forward posture necks, text necks, really helps to just do this action to lift yourself up slightly in Cobra and exhale, soften down. Come to your forearms now in a Sphinx pose. So, in your Sphinx pose, that's another pose that for some people that like to whip their head back in Bhujangasana in Cobra, this is a really good pose for you to work. So, as you spread your fingers with your forearms down, pull your elbows back toward your feet and draw your heart forward. So you can feel like this middle trapezius area just really opening up nicely when you do this. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, lift your thighs up, and come to a plank position. So this is a really strong pose. And for some of us, just keeping your knees down, hips lifting is fine. See how you can maintain this pose, looking slightly forward with your head and neck in this very neutral position. Draw your knees down, draw your belly down. Take the hands right alongside the ribs and inhale, baby cobra, rise up. Exhale, soften. 2 more. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, soften. 1 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften. Come through all fours position to downward facing dog, or whatever way finds you at the front of the mat. Walk, step, or hop your way there. And come to Tadasana again. Just pause in the pose. Breathe in deep and breathe out long. Tone the upper arms with a nice spread to the fingers, with your thumbs drawing back, your baby fingers drawing forward. Reach your arms up and slightly back. Exhale, come to the forward fold with your knees bent. Step your right leg back. Take your hands right to the top of the knee and pause there. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Press your head back. Draw your elbows in toward each other. With the power of the back leg, soften more in the lunge. Now reach your arms up. Spread your hands even wider apart with nice spread fingers, nice tone to the arms. Exhale, release your hands down and step your back foot forward. Place both hands to the low back and rise up. When we interlace our fingers behind our head, see if you can get this lifting quality. You're trying to lift the head up to get that length, right? So let's try it on the left side, keeping that attention to elongating the neck. Inhale, reach your arms up and back. Exhale, come down to the forward fold with your hands alongside your ankles. Step your left leg back. Balance yourself in a high lunge first. Take your hands right behind your head. Press your head back. Now get this lifting quality. Like you're just trying to lift your head, that 10 to 12 pounds off your neck. You get this nice length. Draw your elbows in toward each other. Take the heads of your arm bones back. Take your throat back, that smile action that we did from the top of the throat to the ears. Reach your arms up. Spread your fingers as you open your chest. And release your hands down. Step your back foot forward. Place your hands to your low back and rise up. Come to a wide stance on your mat. And in your wide stance, place your hands right to your hip points. Draw your right toes out. Bend your right knee so that you're in the form of Virabhadrasana number 2. Now, in the same way that we just did, interlace your fingers behind your head, press your head back. That smile again from the top of the throat to the ear. Good. Keep a nice openness to the chest. Now, keep your left hand where it is. Reach your right arm out. So you're still kind of supporting this lifting quality of the head as you reach your hand out. So you've got this nice fullness here. Draw yourself a little bit deeper into the pose. You've got the idea of it now. Reach your arm up. Now that you've got such length in the neck, just let the hand be free and slide it down a little bit. And inhale, rise up. Take your hands in that interlaced finger position right behind your head at the occipital ridge. Again, the smile. You're drawing the top of the throat back. Draw your elbows slightly in toward each other and turn your feet. So your left toes are turning out. Bend your knee. Now, not only is the head being supported by hands, but the hands are trying to get a nice lifting quality to really lengthen the neck as you come into this pose. So as you draw your legs into a nice, strong and steady Virabhadrasana 2 foundation, reach your front arm out. Take your gaze out. Now turn your head and see if you can keep that same lifting quality of the neck. You'll see if you can get the lifting quality of the neck with the hand, you'll be able to turn your head with greater ease as you look out over your hand. Now, keep that lifting quality from the hand getting more length in the neck as you reach your front arm up and allow your back hand to release back. Just get this nice fullness in your pose. Inhale, lift yourself up out of that pose and step your feet in Tadasana. Just pause here. Receive fullness to the breath. A nice lift to your heart. With your eyes bright, reach your arms up and back. Exhale, come to the earth with your hands alongside your ankles to step your way back to a plank position. In plank position, pause here. Strong arms, head in that neutral position before lowering yourself to the mat. On the mat, place your hands again, just repeating some of these actions so that we can take them into our practice. With your forehead pressing the stacked hands, lift your elbows up, lift your head up, just with the power of the hands, kind of assisting the head to move up. You rise up, exhale, you soften, come to all fours position and to either child's pose or downward facing dog. Just pause. Give yourself time to just assimilate some of these actions. As we mature, to get a little bit more kyphotic in the upper back, meaning a little bit more rounded in the upper back. And as we continue to move our head forward to compensate for that rounding, that area of C7, it's really pronounced in this dowager's hump. So if you can remember some of these actions that we did in the practice, just take them into your daily activities. Just allows for that, we call it the prana, the life force energy, to flow more fully. You get a nice elongation of the spine, the energetic qualities that really serve your neuromuscular system so nicely. So as you're ready, come to a seated pose. And in your seated pose, come to Dandasana. Just reach your feet forward and pause. You can have your hands just alongside your pelvis as a way to get this nice lengthening of the spine, the nice lifting quality as you press the legs back. So you engage from your toes, from your spread toes, all the way to the pelvis. So as you're ready, bend your right knee and draw your right knee in as you interlace your fingers in front of the shin. Pause here. And let's go for a little bit easier twisting action here. So extend your right hand down as if you're going to just hold on to the ankle. I've got the right elbow to the inner right knee, and I'm working the knee in toward the elbow. Take your left hand behind you, elongate. Now turn your eyes to look toward the left. Now turn your head. Just getting this nice opening in the chest, nice lengthening of the neck, nice fullness there. Slightly different twisting action than we might be used to. Usually we twist toward the bent leg side. Now come back to the position you were in, but step your hand just a little bit further back. So you're still holding on to your shin or the ankle area, whichever works for you. Come to the fingertip tops in your back hand, in your left hand. Take your gaze out first. Just move your eyes toward the left side. Now turn your head in that direction. And that gaze first, then the head movement allows you to move your head just a little bit deeper in the twisting action. keep this nice opening of the upper chest. And slowly make your way back to Dandasana so you can straighten your leg. And as you straighten both legs, just pause here. Have the hands help to get this nice lifting quality for you. Bend your left knee and take your left hand just to the ankle or shin bone. As you start to turn your chest slightly, and just kind of notice if you're one of those chin pokers, head pokers, take that top of the throat back, that big smile that we were working with. Hug your knee in toward your arm as you used the hand behind you to support a nice lifting quality. And first, move your eyes. So you're just trying to move the eyes to the right before moving your chin to the right. And you open up. You want to go really slow. And as you twist, notice how you start to forget the action of the inner knee against the arm that's holding the leg. See if you can keep all of that really active. That allows you to come more forward on your sits bones. Get this nice opening of the chest. Come out of the pose now. Step your hand one giant step back. And as you activate your bent leg and activate that arm that's holding onto the leg, first turn your gaze first, then turn your head. Come to the twist, this nice openness of the upper chest. And release yourself out of the twist to come to lying down on your back. So you lie down on your back with your feet together and your knees wide apart. Supta Baddha Konasana. Just pause here with your feet pressing in toward one another. Take your arms out in a T position, palms facing up. Move your feet in toward your pelvis. Keep the strong engagement. Now take your left hand to meet the right. Take your left knee to meet the right knee. So you're all the way over to your side. Slide your left arm a little bit further than your right. Just get this nice fullness. Now draw over, come back to the pose you started in. Lift your left knee up, take your left hand back. Pause. Do the opposite side, take your right arm up and over and make a prayer position with your hands. Slide your top hand way forward to get fullness there. And slowly reach your hand up and over. Come to Baddha Konasana again. Now that you've got the hang of it, one more cycle. Take your knees together, take your hands together, roll over. Just exaggerate this top hand moving way forward. And open up, open your knees. Other side, right hand meets left, right knee meets left. And go a little bit deeper. and to open up with your feet together, with your elbows to your side. Rather than lifting your pelvis this time, just see if you can, again, make that smile, top of the throat, draws back. And with the head, fully using the surface of your floor to just kind of release back. Just notice the strength in the neck muscles here. The head is fully supported. So you're just kind of observing the strength of the neck as you take the heads of the arm bones back, top of the throat back. From there, extend your right leg and your left leg and release your arms to your side. Use this time in Shavasana to pause, to bring lots of awareness to the breath, to the freedom and the elongation that you feel in the area of the neck. Draw your attention to your breath. Allow your legs to feel very heavy. You breathe in deep and breathe out long. The outer body softens. The breath allows the inner body to be bright and spacious. Continue to restore and rejuvenate in Shavasana. Thank you so much for joining the practice. Namaste.